What is good, ladies and gentlemen? This is Usman A.M. Bello, aka Mr. IBB. Welcome to the first ever episode of A.M.B Unplugged. Now you might be wondering, what's A.M.B Unplugged? What you expect from this place, from this show? So this is just a live show that I'll be doing once a week, where I just be going through various topics, giving my opinions on things, and just being unfiltered, being I just say whatever I want. But even though people are not gonna like my opinions, I just say how I think about it, straight for the jump. That's what this show's gonna be all about. So yeah, this is episode 1. And if you can hear me properly, the audio you're hearing on the background is called Emilia by my boy Nomano. I will have the link to that in the description below. Actually, you should go and subscribe to him, because he makes some banger tunes like the one you're hearing. So putting that to a pause now, and we should get this show on the road. Now, before we get into any of it, if you do enjoy what you see over here, feel free to leave a like, subscribe if you are new around here. We just hit 20,000 subscribers on the channel, so I appreciate everyone who has subscribed to the channel. But obviously, before I get things underway, it's important that I kind of discuss a few things. And I have to discuss why I've been gone. So, for anyone returning to the channel, knows that I have not uploaded in a long time. But for those who are new around here, I should explain myself. So, in February of 2022 was the last time I uploaded a video onto the channel. So that's been almost 2 years since I last uploaded. And I'm just going to go ahead and check it right now to see the last time I've actually uploaded, because I know it's been a very long time, but I don't know how long exactly it's been. So checking on the videos. Over here. So the last time I uploaded video was February 11th, 2022. So give it like a few more years, a few more days, a few more weeks, is going to be 2 years. So I got a live comment up on here from King asking, "Where have you been, homie? We missed you." That's what I'm explaining right now, why I haven't been on for a long time. So during that time, in January 2022, I went to France, to a city called Nice, as part of my Erasmus program. So my plan was to record video, as much content as possible while I was there, for both the main channel and a second channel that I have. That was my plan, and from the start of it, I made a few videos here and there, had a whole blog about when I got there, and maybe about a few videos. But unfortunately, when I realized how important it was for me to do well in my studies while I was there, I had to put all my attention onto it and focus less on the content. So I did that, and thankfully it did work out well. However, because of that, when I came back, I couldn't focus on it, because my laptop just had an issue. Like, it had an issue, and most of my time of focus was during university. So I did that for a long time. I haven't got back to any content, and because I was not making content for quite a long time, I just fell out of the loop in just making content. And now I just look around, and I've realized, even though a few other people have made less content, maybe I just focus on making a content on like social medias like TikTok, Instagram, I just missed out on a lot. because I was gone. I just missed out on a lot, like so many opportunities for me to make content. But unfortunately, I haven't because I just had other things to prioritize in my personal life. And it just came back to me thinking about it. I was like, I have not done anything in quite a long time. Even by the start of 2023, I made a video on my second channel. I remembered like talking about why I wasn't making content and I wanted to make content that year, but I couldn't. Like, priorities outside of social media was just more important to deal with than YouTube. And now, with things quite calmed down, even though there's still things to prioritize, and I still want to get my computer fixed because that's where I have like most of the things that I need. I really wanted to do something to do the thing I want to do because I have not fallen out of love making YouTube videos because I've started making YouTube videos since 2014. That was when I made my channel, actually. My first video was in April 2015, and this year, on November 23rd, is going to mark 10 years since I made this channel. So I wanted to do something this year to like make sure I'm still within the loop of making content and just doing things. Even if I can't make videos right now, I just realized that maybe doing like a live streams now and then would be the catch, would be the good idea to go with. Hence why we have A.M.B Unplugged. So, and I have been getting subscribers even when I was not on YouTube. I was getting subscribers, even though I'm grateful for it. I kind of question it, then that I really deserve the subscribers, even though I've not been making content for quite a long time. But I thought to myself, there's a reason why people subscribed, and I should appreciate that they've actually taken the time to like the videos, write the comments, and subscribe to my channel. So thank you to everyone that's done that. I truly appreciate it, and I hope that we can get this thing going. Hope it's not a one and done thing. That hopefully I can just keep this thing going because I want to get back to it. I really do. So that's pretty much the whole explanation why I haven't been on social media for this longer time. And this is one person I want to talk about on YouTube. She goes by the name of Gina. Now, for anyone who isn't sure, Gina Nigwe. I apologize if I butchered that last name because it's Ngwe. I remember I first watching her content back in 2018, and she was making content here and there. Like she took a break from it, came back, tried to change up the content, stopped. She got married, I think it was like last year or maybe back in 2022, and she had she had her first they had their first child, and she decided she wanted to come back to YouTube but actually make a change to the content. So she decided that she wanted to change her channel into a family channel, like a family Christian channel where they make regular content, but they always have to, not they have to, but they always reference to the way of God and how they should be living based on the religion. Yeah. And because of that, they've only mainly posted content on TikTok. I think they have like hundreds of thousands of followers now. And the change was a very good decision for not just for her, but for the family too. And they don't make long content like she would have done in the past, but she changed it up into the shorter content like for TikTok, Instagram Reels, and she reached over I keep saying she. It's supposed to be they because it's her and her husband. They got over 120,000 subscribers on June. And I remember I've always had more subscribers than her. And this is not me flexing, but I've always known that I had more subscribers than her. But because of she decided to change up her content and kept being consistent with it, overtook me by a landslide. Like I cannot catch up. I cannot catch up to her or catch up to them. And yeah, they deserve it. I just want to say, like, congrats to them reaching 100,000 subscribers. I'm just sending a huge shout out to them because seeing that just gave me the idea that I really want I really want to come back. Like I really want to come back into doing this. So if you do want to join me on this, I would truly appreciate it. Leave a like, subscribe, and share the content around with people that you want to share around with. And before I get into it, if you look at the banner go around here saying justice for Palestine, Dem- D- Democratic Republic of Congo, and Syria due to the situation that they're currently going through. In the description, I have a couple of links that you can go on to to provide your support to the three countries and the people in those countries that are going through a lot. Because the whole thing with Palestine is not just something that's been happening since October. It's something that's been going on for over 70 years. And with Congo, with millions being displaced, and with Syria being attacked constantly, they really need all the support they can get. So if you are willing to support them, links are in the description to go and help. And speaking of the whole Palestine Israel situation, first thing I want to talk about is South Africa versus Israel. Now, this is not about Israel fighting South Africa. This is about South Africa taking Israel to the International Court of Justice for the complete terrorism they have been causing on Palestine. Because this is what it is. This is just a genocide, and it's very ironic for Israel because in the past it was the you know what Germans back in the 1940s that treated them as if they weren't even human beings. But now Israel have become everything they used to fight against. It's ironic. Now, with the whole thing happening on in South Africa, taking Israel to court, I gotta go through. I want to go through some tweets I've seen on Twitter about this whole debacle, so that I can provide more context into it because everyone else knows what's happening, but I just want to look into it more because recently Israel uh, provided their response to the whole situation. So I'm just gonna check it right over here. And looking at it, it's just people in South Africa are just protesting for Palestine. Like over here, this person, Ashok Swain, said, no country knows better than South Africa the pain to live under a settler colonial power. South Africans come out in massive numbers to protest in support of Palestine. Over here, you can see it over here. And the thing that makes this all baffling, while The whole world is there for Palestine. The whole world's there for them. The countries that are not with Palestine are the UK, United States, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. So, like, probably some of the biggest countries in the world are opting to side with Israel. We're seeing where this whole thing is going. It's just disappointing, but probably at the same time, it was obvious because the United States are the ones that are just backing Israel. So if Israel need anything, they're gonna give it to Israel, just backing them with whatever they need. I said Palestine cannot go through even more treacherous actions against them. People, over 30,000 people, have lost their lives. Millions of people have been displaced. Airstrikes, chemicals dropped on them, denying them access to water, even rainwater, not allowed to. And it's just sad, but South Africa, they are the real leaders in this situation, taking them to the ICJ, International Court of Justice, for their actions. And it's just going to be obvious. Israel are going to try and say, "Oh, what they said, just take it out of context, and they didn't mean it the way people are thinking that they said." You know what Israel are going to try to do? A quote from the South African president back on Thursday. He said this: "We were told by Nelson Mandela that our freedom will never be complete until the freedom of the Palestinians is also attained. I have never felt so proud as I felt today." So, as we are with Palestine, we rock with South Africa. And we hope to God, we hope to Allah that Palestine will get the justice that deserve, and the right action is made on this whole situation. Just going through it. Good to see that the whole world is still backing Palestine with this situation, because you have to be quite an inhumane person to even support what Israel is doing to Palestine. Because when the whole Ukraine-Russia situation happened, those same countries like the UK, United States, were quick to back Ukraine and not Russia. But Russia is backing Palestine. Interesting, isn't it? So, yeah, that's the whole thing going on over there. And I think I said enough I could say about that. Now I just want to move on to something more in my realm. All things footy. Yeah, all things footy. So I'm just pretty much going to talk about the football that's going on. So as of right now, the last time I checked, Newcastle were winning 2-1 against Manchester City, which is quite a surprise considering. Oh, okay, never mind. That was the last time I checked. It seems like Man City are always the party poopers. Yep. Man City gained that 3-2 win over Newcastle. A last minute goal by this Bob. Apparently, people are saying that he's the one that's going to be like the next Haaland, because he's also Norwegian and he's a striker. Yeah, Man City, after winning all the trophies they got, the Club World Cup, coming back to the Premier League, gain a win, as in nothing has changed. I'm just saying, this because I support Arsenal and my team is being very disappointing right now. It's being very disappointing because we got injuries, we got a manager being one-dimensional, not willing to change things, and you know how Arteta is. Like if one of the players just has a bit of an attitude, like Aubameyang or an Ozil, because Arteta doesn't like those kind of players. He will be willing to throw them out, freeze them out the squad, get rid of them, do all that. Because it's either Arteta's way or the highway. Now, for me, I'm not going to start shouting and screaming of how bad my club has been because I've seen this all happen before. So I'm just used to my team not doing well. Like even last season when we almost won the league, when people ask me, do I think Arsenal were going to win the league? I said no, because I know the kind of club my team is. I know the kind of team that my club is. Do well, and then when it gets to the last hurdle, capitulate. Now, Liverpool are on top of the table, losing some players to the AFCONs, which is the tournament I'm looking forward to. My country, Nigeria, is in the tournament, and I want to see them win. I want to see them winning because the last time we won the Cup of Nations was back in 2013, the AFCON. Since then, Ivory Coast won it, Cameroon won it, Algeria won it, and recently Senegal won their first Cup of Nations. So I'm looking forward to that. If you're going to ask me who I think is going to win it, like I'm going to say Nigeria throughout because that's my nation. I want to see my country win it. But if they don't win it, then I could potentially see Senegal going back to back on it. Because the only national team who could come close to them is either Morocco or Egypt. I only say Egypt because they won it the most amount of times, and they're the ones that get to the finals majority of the time. Maybe that's a shout from Morocco because of how well they performed in the World Cup back in 2022, reaching all the way to the semifinals, being the first African nation to reach the semifinals of the World Cup. Now, that was back in 2022, like November, December. I doubt that Morocco will still have that same momentum, that same consistency from that period coming into the AFCON. But I still expect them to go far in the tournament because they have some quality players in their team in Hakim Ziyech, Achraf Hakimi, Nusayr Mazraoui, the defender from West Ham. They got Soufiane Boufal, if called up. They still have like a decent team. Even Bono, they still have quality players in the national team. Whether they're going to replicate the same magic like they did from the World Cup is one thing that we still expect to see in the AFCON. So, who do you think is going to win the AFCON? If you are interested in watching it, you can let me know in the comment section. I'll be happy to answer any questions I get from you guys. That's the whole AFCON. And also like football transfers. Jadon Sancho returning to Borussia Dortmund, but only on a 6-month loan till the end of the season. Now, what's happened to him at Man United is a mess. Such a mess. Ever since Arsenal played against them at the Emirates, beating them 3-1, the whole thing between him and Ten Hag has just gone down the drain to the point where he's been frozen out the squad. Then he was frozen out the training ground. And then he comes to the training ground, he can only train on his own. And anytime he can eat is when they bring the food to him. He can't go in to the dining and get his food. So he spent all his time at home and then got the loan move back to Dortmund, wearing the number 10. Seeing him smiling, get along with everyone. Yeah, I just hope Sancho does well at Dortmund. I hope he does well during that loan spell because while he was at Dortmund, he was phenomenal. He was phenomenal. He was phenomenal for sure. I used to like one of those players. I remember there was like a point in time where people were making it between Sancho and Mbappe because they always change. He was up here in that conversation, but ever since he moved to Man United, things haven't worked out like people would have hoped. And yeah, back at Dortmund, let's hope he does well in his loan spell. But I believe that there might be a chance for Sancho to go back to Dortmund on a permanent basis. So maybe after the loan, the two clubs will go and sit down, try and negotiate for a possible deal for Sancho to come back to the yellow wall permanently. So we'll see what happens on that one. My club's looking for players, but I doubt we're going to get anyone because of FFP. We spent a whole lot of money in the summer transfer window. Kai Havertz, still don't understand that one. The Declan Rice one, it made sense, but without Kai Havertz money, like someone said, like someone told me, like we could have gotten James Madison and Mohamed Kudus. Could have got those. But hey, but somehow Eric Dyer is moving to Bayern Munich. He is moving to Bayern Munich. I'm surprised. For 10 years, Eric Dyer was at Tottenham for 10 years. No trophies. And the only thing memorable about him is when he went up in the stadium getting knocked off against Norwich in 2019 to try and go and fight someone. That's the one thing I only remember about Eric Dyer. But yeah, that transfer happened, and yeah, I mean, so far we're almost getting halfway into the month. No big transfers has happened yet. Do I expect anything to happen? Time will tell. Time will tell. And that's enough with the whole football stuff. So for the first episode, I don't know how long these episodes will normally go. So I think I just talked enough that I wanted to talk about. And it's actually something that I picked up while I was away from YouTube. I decided this year that I wanted to write a book. Now, I'm not talking about like writing a whole book, going to a publisher, get that thing published. No. That's long, quite a long process and a lot of money to spend. However, I have an account on Wattpad, and I plan on like writing a book. Like the genre of that book is going to be like a fantasy kind of book. So I'm thinking of making it like a hybrid between novel and a play. So while there's a lot of storytelling in it, there's more context with the characters actually saying their words, like this is what they're saying and how it's going to work. So I plan on doing that this year. And before I actually do that, I think I have like a small story book that I want to write. I'm writing as well. Before I get to that main one, that will be on Wattpad soon, and maybe very soon I'll share the link to my Wattpad account if you want to read it. When I do publish it, I'll have it in the description. I'll share around for people that want to see it. And another thing I've also been doing, I've been collecting football jerseys. I just a simple hobby. I'm just collecting football jerseys from various clubs and national teams. So maybe in the future, I'll share with you my jersey collection. I did record a video last year. I was willing to edit that and post it on the second channel, but I never got the time to do that. So maybe in the future I will show you my whole football jersey collection. and I have like a few on the way yet to be delivered, but with the ones I have, it's a decent start. So there's that. And and two more things I want to mention. And it's about the Into Reality podcast. Now, when it comes to the podcast, we haven't done an episode since the summer last year. We've been, to be honest, me and my co-hosts, like we've been very inconsistent with the podcast last year, and we haven't done an episode in 6 months because I know he's abroad, he's studying medicine, so it's hard to get time because it's going to be because it is like college is stressful, going through stress, and the only time you get to rest, you have to take as much time to rest as you possibly can. But because of that, things about the podcast have been quite uncertain. It's something that we're going to have to talk about if we do want to carry on with it, or what are we going to do with it. So that's the whole thing with the podcast. So we've come to the end of the episode. I want to thank you so much for watching. Again, I apologize for this long wait, 2 years waiting for me to come with any content. You just need to understand things from my perspective. Because if I had to have so much on my plate, I would be delivering the content as much as I possibly could. And my plans for this live show, I would look forward to getting a plethora of guests onto it. Like I have been talking to some people last year, if they're willing to be guests on the podcast. Some of them are willing to. Well, I'd love to ask them again. Who knows? Who knows? Might get some special guests onto the show, make it all about them. And how I want to do it. If I have a guest, then the guest is going to be there based on the topic being discussed. If I have a special guest, it's going to be based on them. I just ask them questions about what they're doing, how they got into it, and all this kind of stuff. So that's one of the things I want to do for this show. And don't forget, if you want to support Palestine, you want to support DR Congo and Syria through their tough times, the links are in the description for you to go and support them in any way you can. And one way you can support them, because I have an app on my phone, it's called No Thanks. And how that app works is when you go out shopping, you want to buy a product, because there are a lot of companies who are supporting Israel. A lot of them are supporting Israel. So the app looks like this: No Thanks. And how it works, you get a product, you can scan the barcode, and the app will tell you if it supports Israel or not. So if you have the app, you can go into it and you can check it out for yourself. You can check the brand and see if it does. So let's say for example, a brand called Crivet. A brand like Crivet, it just says it's not in the boycott list. Like these are like companies to boycott. I think there's one. Okay, you search up like Prime Hydration. Like you search up a company like Prime, again that one will come out. It's not on the list. But there are products that if you do scan them, it does say they are good for now, which means it'll be okay for you to go and purchase the products. And it just says, let's say Pantene, like company like Pantene says, yeah, no thanks. This product is in the boycott list. You can do that. Apparently, it's only available on Android, and the founder of the app said that it will be available on the iOS very soon. By the way, I'm not paid to say this. I'm not sponsored by him. I'm just saying this is like one of the ways that you can support Palestine during their tough situation. So thank you guys so much for this episode. I hope to come back come with the next episode next week, like next Saturday. And do remember, I'll provide his details in the description. And yeah, this is the end of that. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you next time. Take care and peace.